This is the tease for the show, and we just got a lot to talk about about Star Wars.
So much to talk about. We've been gone for so long.
Welcome to Certain Point of View. I'm Addy Thomas.
I'm Ben Milton.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Certain Point of View. Nobody expected this to happen, right? We just kind of disappear and we just reappear.
We're like Force ghosts.
I was gonna say we're like we're just as reliable as my dad who left to get cigarettes that one time.
Oh, is that too soon? No.
No. Anyway, well, of course, we are your Sometimes Star Wars podcast, and as we're wrapping up Certain Point of View, we are kind of becoming just a Star Wars podcast in the final death throes of Certain Point of View.
Wow. I never really thought of it that way, Addy.
Well, but the one thing to know is those death throes are going to last a little longer than we expected because we're not going to wrap up at the very end of the year. We're actually going to go a little bit longer into the year because we're delaying the start of our new podcast, Serial Killers. We're not going to announce the actual release date for that yet. But
not yet. We have some details to work out.
We want to take a little bit more time with it. There's some other things we've got planned with it, but it'll also give us a time to talk about some of like Clone Wars, Mandalorian. Give us a little bit more time to do some Star Wars Rise of Skywalker rewatches and stuff like that, and revisiting and stuff like that before we depart from podcasting about Star Wars exclusively. So
yep.
Anyway, you can check out a number of podcasts on our website, certainpov.com. One of them that I most recently left, but have left in very good hands, is our podcast, Real Movie News and Reviews, with Hans and Steven. You can check out their podcast on certainpov.com. And the cool thing is they got some really cool stuff planned that you're going to want to keep an eye on because they got a lot of games and competitions and all sorts of movie predictions, stuff that you can even win prizes for that are going to be on the way in the new version of their show coming soon. So you can check that out along with a ton of other podcasts on our website, certainpov.com. So, Ben, how you been for recently?
Actually really good. Oh God, there's so much has happened. I'm trying to figure out where to start.
Right.
So I have a job now.
What?
Yeah, I actually
work
9 to 5.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But going from contractor to that.
It's a weird step, and it's a weird. It has a weird effect on the other employees that I work with.
Sure.
When I was a contractor, I was definitely treated differently than I am now as an employee.
I bet.
And I much prefer the contractor.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a nice detachment,
Yeah, that you can just walk out and be like, this is not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right.
Now it's my circus and my monkeys.
Yeah. And you wish that was an attachment that you didn't have, like a good Jedi should.
I know. And instead I'm giving into my anger and my hate.
Attachment doesn't lead anywhere good.
Nope. It's been a downhill go for 3 weeks already?
Yeah.
It's been happening.
And you're already miserable.
I hate this goddamn place. Never mind that I've been there for 2 years contracting.
Yes, exactly.
Doing the exact same job for the exact same money. Yeah. Nothing changed except my status, and I'm miserable. I'm the worst employee in the history of employees.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know about worst.
J. Mike, you're right.
Yeah, no, we got,
he was the worst.
Well, I also heard that you got a chance to finally get around to watching one of the DC Universe's best entries.
Yes!
You got to see Aquaman finally.
What a treat that was. Right? I can't believe how much fun that movie was. Everybody was like, you're going to love this. It's really great. I didn't love it, okay?
Yeah.
But I was shocked at how much I did enjoy it.
Right? Yeah, I don't think I ever told you were going to love it.
No.
But yeah, it was fun. It was
a lot of fun.
It was just a blast,
It's silly.
You got a freaking octopus drummer.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that was my absolute favorite.
I've never believed in predestination, but if there ever was a job for a drummer, if there ever was a job for an octopus, it is drummer.
It seems like it's a natural fit,
right?
A timpani playing drummer would be pretty obvious.
Unreal drum solos. Can you imagine?
Move over, Rush. Neil Peart can suck it. can't handle the rhythms of these 8 arms.
That's what Otto Octavius
Really
just retire from supervillainy and science.
Go on the tour and go on tour.
Yeah.
Join a rock band.
Sinister Six reimage as a rock band.
Oh, can you imagine? That would be amazing.
Sinister Six tour?
Yeah, I'd go see that.
Yeah, everyone would.
Oh. You'd get robbed the entire time.
I mean, the Sinister Six already kind of dress like one.
They do look like an 80s rock band.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of
Vulture.
Guar. They got a little bit of Guar. A little bit of Poison or Motley Crue happening there with the tight tights. Yeah, there's a lot happening.
I mean, names like Scorpion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Scorpions.
Right?
Rest in peace, John.
All right, so let's move on into Star Wars territory. We're going to be joined a little bit later in this episode with by Pat Edwards. We're recording a little bit later with him, and we're going to add that segment onto the podcast later on. Because he got a chance to go to Galaxy's Edge in Orlando, and I'm so jealous. But I am looking forward to when they open the second ride. I think that's when, like, at the very, I don't want to go before then, because at the very least,
What, you can't go back? You only get one shot at it?
Financially,
Fair point.
so it's just about being a little bit more strategic with my money on
I get that.
one.
I get that. Yeah.
But Pat Edwards goes regularly to Disney. That's his and his family's thing. They're Disney acolytes of the highest order.
Now that we've seen more out of what's coming on the new Disney streaming service, I may have to join that side of the aisle.
Right. That's one of the big things we're going to talk about today is because we have not had a podcast recording since well before Disney
D23.
Yeah, D23 and the Disney Plus announcement. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then the other thing we're going to do, we're going to wrap up with talking about Episode 4, New Hope, because we did our rewatch, because we are rewatching the Star Wars movies in release order in the lead up to Rise of Skywalker. So some sort of like thoughts of as we rewatch the movie. And we had a blast. It was one of the funniest movies we've seen in a while, and it's also funny in watching it in light of Last Jedi critiques as well.
Yeah. Oh, if you watch that movie with Last Jedi critiques, you can't watch it.
Yeah, you can't be a Star Wars fan.
It's such an awful movie.
Yeah. So we'll talk about all of that in just a bit. So let's go ahead and start with D23.
Man, what a lot of announcements.
Yeah. I mean, do we want? You know what? I'm not going to spend any time on any of the Marvel stuff unless there's something that stands out for you that you really are excited about.
All of it.
Yeah, I know, right?
All of it.
Here's the thing. Let's do this just to give a little bit of a Marvel nod. What is the thing you're most excited about coming to Disney Plus for Marvel?
All of it.
All of it.
The more I think about it, the more I'm curious to see what the WandaVision show is going to be.
That is exactly the one I was thinking about.
That one I'm really interested to see what they do with that. That could be really, really interesting and really, really fun.
Yeah.
And then
a little mind-bending, too. Like a little bit, like a couple parts Legion and a couple parts something else.
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel like it.
I need something to scratch that Legion itch now that it's gone, and this might be it.
And I don't think it'll have that full, it won't embrace what Legion did fully. And it doesn't need to. Legion did that,
Yeah.
But it does feel like the kind like a version of that can exist in a WandaVision series in the MCU. So
yeah.
I'm excited about that a lot.
Yeah, that's the one that's the most creative and the most interesting to me.
Yeah, and I like
kind of far. Well, that and What If.
Yeah,
like I gotta see What If.
What If is going to be fantastic. I mean, like all of them sound good. Loki sounds really interesting to me as well. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, will be good, but that's not something I'll probably be excited to until I see a trailer, to be honest. You know, and the same with Hawkeye as well.
I didn't love it until I was reminded of that scene with Bucky in the back seat, and he asks Sam to move his chair forward.
Right.
And he won't.
Yeah, you forget about the dynamic between Falcon and Winter Soldier because we only saw it in Civil War.
Yeah.
We didn't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
that has some potential. It all looks amazing. I'm excited. The price point is incredible. I already have a 3-year subscription.
Nice.
So I'm set. Like, just I'm just waiting for November 12th at this point.
Yeah.
That's the only thing keeping me alive.
Coming back around to WandaVision, though, I am excited about some of the members of that cast because we are getting Kat Dennings back.
Yes!
Darcy. We're getting Randall Park back as Agent Jimmy Woo, who
was also in Aquaman.
That's right. He was an Aquaman. That's right. He is a future Aqua villain.
Yes.
So it's cool seeing him in both universes. I'm glad, but I'd rather see more of him in the MCU, to be honest.
I'd rather see him do more stand-up. He's a funny guy.
Has he done stand-up? Mm-hmm. I've never seen his stand-up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But he's funny.
But he's a good actor.
Yeah, he
and
is.
he's a funny guy.
Funny guy.
I heard about a series that he was on, a web series called IKEA Heights, that I want to watch, and apparently, they filmed, it's like a soap opera filmed in IKEA, but without IKEA's permission.
Oh, no.
And, there's even, IKEA employees, in the middle of, the show coming and trying to stop them from filming, and they just keep going.
I gotta look for that. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, that's one of those things I gotta I found the first episode on YouTube. I just gotta find the rest of the series, line it all up, and just watch it.
That's amazing.
So I think that's one of those early things he did before he started getting a lot more Hollywood gigs.
Okay.
But I love him on Fresh Off the Boat. And I think I liked his little appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that character is going to get a little bit more love. Catherine Hahn's going to be in the movie as well. So I'm excited for this series.
Marvel sounds amazing right now.
Right?
They are firing on all cylinders.
Outside of that, we're getting some Pixar series. We're getting Monsters at Work, which I'm really excited about, expanding out the Monsters the Monsters Inc. universe.
Did you see the last one?
Monsters University? Yeah.
Was it good?
I liked it. Yeah. I didn't love it as much as I did the first one. There's something.
The first one's almost perfect.
Right. Yeah, that's a movie that I smile from the first moment to the very last. It is such a joyful movie.
It is.
But it's also such a cool creative universe. Yeah. I think I feel it's on par with Toy Story as well. I feel it's that forgotten.
Oh, I like it better than Toy Story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
love Toy Story.
Oh, really?
No.
I love Toy Story 3. I think that's the thing. That's the one that stands out for me.
Is that the sad one?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty melancholy.
You have issues, man. You open the show with your dad leaving. Submit that Toy Story 3 is your favorite Toy Story. I think, you may want to get some therapy or something. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Maybe since we're not doing this as regularly, you can take the time to go talk to somebody.
Don't pretend that Monsters Inc. doesn't hit it on the feels.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
when Boo and Sully are broken up and they have to say goodbye. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, one of my favorite lines about the snow cones. That they're lemon, which they are definitely not lemon. Those are definitely pea. Because here's the thing. I know we're going on a tangent, but that's what this podcast is about anyway.
Right.
But when he goes out to refill them, where does he have lemons? And why? And if he has lemons, why aren't they in his cave?
Sunlight?
Clearly he's going out to pee and make
sunlight.
It's in the middle of a snowstorm. It's dark when they go outside.
Yes, but the trees will grow.
On the mountaintops of the Himalayas, lemon trees.
There might be rare lemon trees that grow.
The Abominable Snowman was totally peeing in those.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. I always thought he was.
Yeah.
I always assumed he was. Are there people who actually assume he's not?
I don't know. This is just in my mind, just a question I've always had.
Why would you question that? It's obvious he's peeing in the cup. As soon as he says it, that's the oldest joke in the book.
Right.
Don't eat the yellow snow. Where the Eskimos go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. But then we got all the Star Wars stuff coming too.
Yes.
From D23.
Yes, we do. So we don't have. Well, we're gonna have to wait a little longer on Clone Wars on the final season. Yeah. That's gonna be coming, I believe, February 12th.
Yeah.
Or they may have just said February.
Yeah. Early 2020.
They said February for sure.
Yeah.
So, from what I understand, that will be releasing on a one episode per week basis. I don't know if that applies to all the Disney Plus shows, but it sounds like it might.
It did sound that way to me too, the way they were describing everything.
Which I like that. I like the chance for shows to get these streaming shows to get a chance to have that sort of week to week life and experience, because I think that's one thing that's been missing for a lot of binges. Like, you either binge it and you're part of that conversation early on, or you miss the conversation entirely. And
there's no chance to catch up if it all comes out at the same time.
right. Like, I kind of missed the boat on Umbrella Academy. Like, I could probably jump in when the second season comes around.
You can watch it now. There's nobody talking about it. It's still a great show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what I mean is, like, but that communal experience does create a draw.
Let me ask you about this for your communal experience. When you take a leak,
okay,
do you prefer to do it in the comfort of your own home alone, or do you prefer to do it at like Redskin Stadium?
Definitely
with like 40 other 1,000 strangers.
Never at Redskin Stadium.
I think the value of communal experiences is overrated.
Well, here's where I think it is beneficial. Maybe I'm thinking more from a promotional aspect. I think buzz around a series does create more of a draw. Like, that's why I eventually did get pulled into Game of Thrones and Lost. Even several seasons into those shows was because that conversation was such a big deal, and eventually I got pulled in by that experience.
But don't you think that also happens with binge shows? I'm just playing devil's advocate here of like binge shows of like, oh wow, like Daredevil season 1 did really, really well. I'm going to watch Daredevil season 2 or Luke Cage because I heard so much about these other shows, their first seasons. I mean, you're still coming into the season late.
But you would see that, like, I think one thing that
Luke
tends
Cage
to happen.
Shut Netflix down.
Season 1, the season 1 for all of those shows performed very well, and this is what's tough with Netflix since they don't release the numbers. But I remember reading something that the belief is that, the reason Netflix canceled is their ratings were declining, is what they did say, and it was a huge drop from season to season, and so that. The momentum, I think, that's built for the longevity of a season, like The Office. I think people got more into it with season 2 and 3, and then like as those later.
That was also
seasons
because season 2 and 3 were much better than season 1.
It is, but it also got a chance to build an audience, and for that audience to keep on having conversations, and people wanted to be part of those conversations. So, like, those of the people who may not jump on immediately might jump on later. The Good Place, I see that happen all the time, right now. I think with Game of Thrones, like, the audience grew, but you're noticing with these streaming series, like, the audience seems to dwindle instead. At least with the Marvel Netflix
but the quality
series.
went down too, man.
You think for Marvel Netflix? You think so?
Season 2 of a lot of shows did, yeah.
Yes and no, but at the same time, like, Daredevil season 3, shouldn't Daredevil season 3's uptick in quality have gotten more people to jump on?
Or was it too late because you had so many shows before that were garbage?
Yeah.
You had Iron Fist.
Yeah. I mean, but could one bad season of Iron Fist be enough to kill that entire thing?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
For casuals, absolutely.
I felt
one bad season of Game of Thrones, and that show's not nearly as big.
That's true, but I also think, because and obviously we're dealing with theory here, but like, I do know comic fans who lost interest in the Marvel series as well. The Marvel Netflix.
Well, that's because they're
well.
DC fans.
I know Marvel
they
fans.
They don't like good things.
Yeah. I know Marvel fans who lost interest in those.
Yeah.
Too.
It can happen.
So,
I mean, it's media. I mean, it's going to ebb and flow. It is what it is.
Right.
I think it's magic to get a hit show.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, that's true.
How many shows come out every year and like never make it even through a full season,
right?
Before they're canceled,
right?
And
some of them go on to become a cult hit after the fact, right?
Yeah, not everything. Yeah, not everything is Seinfeld. Not everything like Family. Yeah, Family Guy took years to find a home,
right?
Until it was finally stable. And it was, I mean, and those first couple seasons were really good. I've been watching them again on Cartoon Network, and I'm like, yeah, these are really funny. Like, I can't believe the show got canceled.
Yeah, those first couple seasons are fantastic.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's so hard to quantify what makes a hit TV show. Like how is it going to do? How does the audience react to it?
I don't think that makes it a hit.
I think you're onto like the word of mouth and the aspect of being able to talk about it week to week. And like Game of Thrones was really cool because like I remember like one season, like Jenny and I were able to go to a bar for the opening night,
right,
and watch it with in a community setting, and that was
right.
a lot of fun.
And you tend to not have those for the binges. I think here's the other thing.
I don't know. You and I get together for all the Netflix stuff.
We make effort to do that though. It's not like we know about people.
It took effort for me to get a babysitter so I could go watch Game of Thrones in a bar.
No, that's true. But I mean, again, it's popular enough for that to happen out and about rather than us, deciding to put something together. We did it because we're fans. We podcast and all sorts of other stuff. Here's my thought though. I think it's promotional and trending types of conversations. Because those those binge conversations happen for the first week, maybe first week or two for those series being around, right? Whereas, let's say a 10-episode series that happens over the course of 10 weeks, it can potentially be trending for 10 weeks or in the lead up and a little bit
I see that.
after as well.
For sure.
I think it's about promotional time rather than
intensity.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So, yeah.
I will concede, sir.
Yeah, but I think that's the only aspect. Like you said, there's still ways, it's not like the binge model is bad by any means. I've enjoyed it immensely. But I think I'm also gonna enjoy the week to week again.
You say that until episode 1 is done and you're
I'm gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go nuts for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be.
Are we planning on getting together that day?
Yeah, of course.
Of course we are.
Of course. I'll probably even take off.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
So I hope
Mandalorian day.
I hope my boss lets me.
Yeah. Put in time off beforehand.
I
November
have 4
12th.
hours.
November 12th is ahead of this day. You
I have
can
4
reserve
hours
it.
right now. That's all I got.
You're such a new employee.
I'm bad at this.
I know.
I'm really bad at this. I may go back to contractor.
Yeah. No, I'm already planning to make sure to get my time off for Rise of Skywalker.
The thing that's going to piss me off about this, though,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be we'll take the whole day off, and then they won't release it until 5
Midnight.
p.m. Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I take the day off?
Right.
Doggone it. I really
Yeah.
want to know what the start time is.
Yeah. That'll help.
Yeah.
That'll help. The demand is going to be crazy.
There's so much.
Star Wars on a streaming service.
Star
If you thought
Wars,
Luke
Marvel.
Cage shutting down Netflix was crazy,
Right.
imagine what the Mandalorian.
Because it's not just Mandalorian. I mean, it's everything. The entire thing starts.
Yeah.
All of Disney.
All that Disney library. Well, I think they're gradually going to add some of those movies, but still, the fact that they're going to be available.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is premiering on November 12th. They didn't really say if there's a Marvel series also premiering or how their release
I think we
is
would
going to
know
work.
that by now if something else was premiering.
I think so. I think they're going to stagger their releases so that they don't have overlap there. So
they don't crush their servers.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's going to be a big part of it.
And that is a serious concern. I
Yeah.
am curious to see
It'll shut it down. I'm certain of it.
you think we'll have problems on opening day?
Here's the thing, and we see this happen with MMO launches all the time
All
as well,
the time.
or not just MMO, a lot of
Game
game
launches,
launches in general, and people forget
true.
and I think you kind of have to look at it from this perspective, what's the budget worthwhile? This is more of a legitimate question because I don't know the answer to this. Is the money to spend on having enough servers for launch more important, or having enough servers for the day-to-day that when that initial demand calms down a bit, what's more important to have ready? And I don't know, I don't know financially what that looks like.
Right.
Is it worth paying that much to make sure launch is that smooth, or do you let that buzz, you also get a benefit of the buzz of oh my god, servers shut down because demand was so high.
Oh, I better join in. This is going to be huge.
Right. So I think there's a couple different aspects to that, because that was also Luke Cage shutting down Netflix was a great promotion for Netflix as well.
It really was.
So I wonder what financially what that means. Do you just get extra servers temporarily,
Where do you
then
get
as demand?
Yeah, but I don't think you can just get extra servers temporarily. I mean, these things are cutting edge spaceship type servers.
Exactly.
You just don't run to Best Buy, pick
Yeah,
one
and
up and
plug
be
in some.
keep the receipt. We're going to return it in a week.
Don't damage the box.
We're going to need that, Bob. We're going to need that, Bob.
Yeah, like I wonder what that's like, or is it like blades somewhere in a server rack or something that you can just pop out? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I would love to see it sometime, though.
Right?
I would love to see Blizzard server farm. See what that looks like and
yeah.
how that all operates. Just the nerd in me and the tech guy in me is just really curious to see how that all actually comes together.
Right. So
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder what, because there's so many. Like I know people complain like, oh my god, a game developer this big shouldn't have launches that are that bad, but it happens often enough. And it
happens to everybody.
Yeah, and I see the logic in why like you're not gonna like pay for extra servers that are only going to be useful for the first like week,
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see what that happens. Mandalorian, we got the first officially released online trailer, so I can stop watching the bootleg shadowy trailer I kept on watching to keep myself hyped. What did you think?
IGA 86, is that his name?
Yes.
Which is Tiki,
or is it 87? Or IG
80, it's 80 64? No, it's IG
crap.
something. But he looks awesome.
He does.
He looks amazing when he's like in the street shooting behind him and in front of him and
just twirling around in a turret of destruction.
Yeah, I'm so pumped. And I thought I haven't watched it in a while, but I vaguely remember there's a shot of like him walking next to the Mandalorian.
Yes,
so
like teamed up with like there's like some kid or something with them.
Yeah. That looks like they're partners for that, which would be great.
Which I think they said that as much that there is a little bit of like rivalry between him and the Mandalorian, but there's also like sort of like a heart of gold type of thing.
Oh, it's going be so amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And Taika Waititi's voicing him, so I'm super excited.
Directing that episode.
Right?
It's going to be great. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm interested to see when Bill Burr shows up in the series.
Yes.
The cast announcements also are fantastic. I mean, we've got is it Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. You've Werner Herzog.
Crazy, right?
We've also heard that we've got the origin of the First Order will be sort of established in the series as well. So for anyone who complained about not getting enough politics in The Force Awakens,
or finding out more about Snoke's backstory,
right? Well, like, what'll be funny is if the Mandalorian's all about trade routes.
Oh God. Can you imagine? There better be some trade route jokes. I expect that from Favreau. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he'll tease that a little bit.
Well, him and Filoni collaborating on the series, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Yeah, there'd be some tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
digs at fanboys.
I mean, they're fantastic with that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about this series. Gina Carano, of course, Apollo Creed himself, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
We got another announcement. Ming-Na Wen.
Yes,
will also be in the series as well. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that ties in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that's going to be a really cool crossover.
Yeah, all right. Let's calm down.
You don't think so?
No, I'm all right with not seeing that.
You won't get a what if for
that? I don't need that. I don't need that, especially with that last season of... I haven't caught up on the most recent season.
I haven't either.
Of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I've heard not great things about it. So,
well, you've been hearing that for the last several seasons of that show.
That's true, but I mean, I did enjoy the one before the last season I watched, so like 2 seasons ago, I think. The Ghost Rider and LMD season.
Yeah. Yeah, that
was a fantastic season. Yeah.
I like the first half.
I like the LMDs too, and the alternate universe.
Yeah.
With Fitz
as plug out of.
Yeah. I thought that was good.
Hitler Fitz,
right? Yeah, I thought that was a really good season.
Yeah, it was all right.
The future in the Kree season, that was the one that I was not into.
Yeah,
I had a hard time with that one.
So what else we got Star Wars wise?
Well, so other than Clone Wars, Mandalorian. We got some other news. We also know that Cashin and K2SO will be shooting
Nobody
very
cares.
Soon. Oh, come on. I'm so down for that. The reason you say nobody cares is because of the next announcement.
Yes.
But don't get me wrong. Cashin and K2SO is going to be a fantastic series. That's a fantastic duo, the two of them. I mean, come on. K2SO like, here's the thing. There's so many great Star Wars droids. It's hard to say I have a favorite droid anymore because, like, Chopper, K2SO.
Top three, who are your top 3 droids?
Oh, that's okay.
This is hard?
Yeah.
Is K2SO in your top 3 droids?
Yes.
Really?
For sure.
Wow.
He is hilarious. Are you kidding? Did you forget some of the lines from that movie? I'm sure you haven't watched it in forever.
I watched it this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you?
I watched it on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, okay. I love K2SO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your top 3 droids, come on.
Chopper.
Chopper for sure, number 1.
K2SO.
Okay.
And R2.
And R2. R2's your third droid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, R2 drops down a little bit for me because of the prequels.
Yeah.
And all the chicanery that they had him doing. I was okay.
But knowing that officially he is swearing restores some of that cred for me.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chopper for sure. What's the droid on Rebels?
Chopper. Yeah.
Is that Chopper?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because it's Poe's no.
You're thinking BB-8.
BB-8.
Yeah, no, I know you have BB-8 in your heart. But
yeah, I hate BB-8.
I like BB-8. BB-8's awesome. I want one of those BB-8 Sphero droids. It'll be like, I mean, I can't get a dog because I'm allergic, so that's
so it'd be nice to have a droid,
right?
That sounds
it's also
about
much
right.
cheaper.
Yeah, and that sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I do really like BB-8. I mean, the thumbs up. Come on, man. That's
a great moment.
Yeah.
That is a great moment.
Yeah. I agree with you. They've made it BB-8 Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
There's overkill. And there's that history of that with all the droids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I would put BB-8 maybe as my number 5.
Okay.
I would actually put the inventory droid from Rebels, the Imperial droid that Chopper recruits.
And then they just leave him in space?
Yes, he's my number 4.
He is amazing. He is amazing. There's one droid that you are leaving out of this, sir.
The one tortured in
the Gonk droid. Yeah. Obviously, yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Or are you talking please don't tell me the crap about the one, I forget, is it R4? The one who, like when people have...
R5-D4? Who has the bad motivator?
That's R5. R4 is Obi-Wan's, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, R5, yeah.
R5-D4 is the bad motivator.
The bad motivator.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Right.
No, the most important droid that you are leaving out that is in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
IG-88.
See, that may change very soon, but right now, and see, I love IG-88, but movie-wise, and not, like, because here's the thing, even in Robot Chicken Star Wars, IG-88 doesn't get a lot to do. So, I want to love IG-88.
Yeah, but we saw the assassin droids in Clone
Wars.
Right.
That's true. So we saw the model.
We know, and he's the best model there is. So we know what a badass he is.
Yeah. I'm sure that Taika is going to change my rankings.
When Vader called in all the best bounty hunters,
IG-88 was one of
was the robot.
I don't hear you talking about 4LOM a lot either.
No, I don't. There's a reason for that. He owes me money.
Here's the thing with IG-88. IG-88 also has a special place in my heart because of MC Chris's song, "Why You Gotta Play Her Hate" on IG-88.
Right.
And I love that song. Yeah. So I love his Bounty Hunter album.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Bosk got a segue.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Bosk as a bounty hunter has stolen my heart.
Sure.
So of the bridge of the Executor, Bosk is my favorite of all those bounty hunters.
Zuckuss.
I mean, maybe Zuckuss could come in
Zuckuss
later.
has the best name.
He does.
I love the name Zuckuss. If Jenny and I had our own kids, we would have named
Zuckuss.
That would have been my pitch.
That's a great middle name, actually.
Yeah, it totally is.
Where you can just hide
Jonathan Zuckuss Milton.
Not too late to do a name change.
No, it isn't. It totally isn't. Let's see if I can talk Melanie into it. Oh my goodness! Yeah, I'm super pumped for all of it. Like, Mandalorian looks amazing. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
But the one, obviously we had our little
Okay, so
K2SO
K2SO,
cash in Andor.
Yeah. And then the only news that really matters.
Well, there's two. We still have two major Star Wars pieces of news.
There's really only one.
But the one, one we're going to break down a little bit more. But Obi-Wan,
yes,
Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan.
I hope they call it Obi-Wan.
Hello there. A Star Wars story.
I really do. And what I hope it is, I hope it's like a Mr. Rogers kind of thing where he like opens the door. Hello there. And sings a little song.
Yeah, but I don't.
Puts on a sweater. On a brown robe.
Well, see, I would like puppets to pop up and talk to him, and it's him like just trying to stay sane in the desert. Like it ends up being super dark.
Slowly going to madness.
Because at first it's like hello there, and he's saying hi to the Daniel Tiger equivalent, but then like by episode 12 it's like, oh, I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
That would be the best. It's not too late, Disney. Give us a call.
Yeah, right.
We're going to save this thing.
Yeah. We're going to save this thing. I'm excited for that.
I'm so happy I was wrong about this because I swore up and down that it was just a rumor.
Yeah,
and that
I thought so
really
too.
Going to happen. Yeah,
I thought so too. I'm glad. I wonder what it was that. Well, I imagine one thing that's made them hesitant is it does seem like they've decided officially not to do the spin-off movies anymore.
Yeah.
Which I kind of was like, I'm a little unsure of, and I want them to do spin-off movies, but I will say I like what they're doing instead, and it looks like the spin-off movie ideas are heading to Disney+. Yeah. And I think that's better, because here's the thing. I love Rogue One, but Rogue One would have been much better as a series.
You can imagine Rogue One Band of Brothers style.
Oh, so good. But then you get a chance to like build out those characters.
Yeah.
So, because that's
all the complaints I would have had would have been gone.
Because I do get that complaint. I understand that complaint totally, that those characters are definitely all like, they're all... Oh, man, I forgot the term. Sure. They're more working off of the stereotypes.
Archetypes?
The archetypes of who they are, rather than fully fledged, fleshed out characters. But, like, that's also true of any squad movie like that, though. Usually only one character gets a little bit of development, and everyone else is an archetype. So that's why I'm more forgiving on that. But I think with Star Wars, that's one of the big things is we care about the character arc even over plot, and we care about theme over plot. I think the those of us, especially that like The Last Jedi a lot more, care more about character arc and theme, and will sacrifice certain jumps in plot for that. So, and I think because I think that's definitely true of the original. That's definitely true of A New Hope.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's true of the original trilogy in a big way. But yeah, so Obi-Wan, it seems like the thought process is Obi-Wan in the desert, kind of similar to the stories we got in the comics. Do you think there's a chance with de-aging tech that they'll do a young Obi-Wan series at any point?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, you may have like some flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll do a whole series.
Even if it's a series, follow me here.
Okay.
Liam Neeson is Qui-Gon.
Liam Neeson is 170,000 years old.
He doesn't look that different from when he did in 1999. For
I know,
Phantom
but
Menace.
like he's approaching that age where they won't insure him much longer. Literally.
Yeah, but like, isn't like Samuel L. Jackson like 89?
Yeah, and he has that's why he does so much voice work now.
That's true. Yeah. I thought it's just because he doesn't turn down any jobs.
Well, he's never said no.
Yeah.
But the only ones who are asking him at this point are largely voice acting.
There's a lot of voice acting. He's still in movies. What
was the last movie he was actually in? I'm going to look it up. I got IMDb right here.
He was in that last year. He was in that action movie with Ryan Reynolds, the one where they're both hitmen.
Yep.
The hitman's bodyguard.
Yeah. What's his name? Who were we talking about?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. Thank you. There he is. So strong. I can't even tell you. Practically on Mars right now. Let's see. All filmography. As an actor, he's only been in 190
Only 190.
All right, he was in Far From Home as Nick Fury, where he hardly did anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shaft in 2019.
That's right.
He played the old man Shaft.
Yeah.
So he didn't have...
Well, middle man Shaft.
Oh, right.
Even Richard Roundtree was in that.
That's right. I didn't see that. I got to see that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Again, he showed up just to say hi in Endgame.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. He was a little, Glass. He was in a wheelchair the entire time.
But still, he's in movies.
Yes.
It's not like he's at
how
that...
old is this guy? Let's see how old is this guy?
You got to look up Liam Neeson.
He was born in 1948.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's an old motherfucker.
I got to do the math on that. I can't do the math in my head.
That would be...
It's 20...
Actually, he's in his 70s. He's like 71.
Minus 1948. He's 71. Very good. Your math checks out.
Right? You're welcome.
I shouldn't have questioned you. Who am I looking up? Liam Neeson?
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at how old Liam Neeson is. Now I just thought about that bit from Hollywood Babylon. How big is Liam Neeson's cock?
He was born in 1952.
Okay, so he's about the same age. He's a little younger.
He's a little younger. Yeah. Huh, interesting.
Like, how much action, like...
I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, but you're talking about a young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
There's going to be some action.
Some, but you can accomplish that with doubles, too. You know?
I'm just saying, like, these guys are like, Ewan McGregor's my age.
But here's the thing. Like, I also like so, when it comes to fight choreography, I like what they've done in the sequels so much better than what they did in the prequels.
So it's not nearly as acrobatic and,
exactly.
Ewan McGregor's older than I am.
Well, yeah, I know, obviously.
Not obviously.
Yes, obviously.
He's older than me?
Definitely, clearly older than you.
And look how shitty I am. You expect this guy to do his own stunts?
Your shittiness is an icon. It is a standard to compare other it's an iconic standard to compare other things to. You're not necessarily the paragon of age. You're just the paragon of shittiness.
I'm just saying, I think you're expecting a lot from older actors, you asshole. Jeez, that really went bad for me.
I know. Like, you brought yourself
awful.
into it.
I know. This, and I have nobody to blame but myself. And that was awful. This is why we're not doing this show anymore. God damn it, man. That was awful.
Oh, man. So, all right. So, yeah, no, I still like to see a Qui-Gon. Like, I want a chance to see Liam Neeson get a chance to be Qui-Gon again.
Maybe we get some Qui-Gon Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be down for that. Qui-Gon Ghost in the desert. Okay, you know what? Yeah. All right. I'll take that. I'll take that rather than action series with the two of them. With them doing trade negotiations.
You got to find out how he gets that negotiator title,
right? All right, so Obi-Wan, but then we also got a teaser for Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation about it, especially about a new lightsaber.
Yep.
I thought it was a cool teaser,
double-bladed switchblade,
right? Brought to you by Swiss Army knives. But we got some cool things in that trailer. Like, we got some cool shots of our hero crew of Kylo Ren. We got to see a little bit of a fight between Kylo Ren and Rey on the ruins of the Death Star in the water. Felt a little bit toned down version of the fight on Mustafar, which is funny when that is a toned down version of that clip we saw is a toned down version of a fight. It shows you just how off the rails that Mustafar fight went.
Yeah, it was so over the top, and I loved every minute of it.
I did. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it doesn't hold up in rewatches very well.
Nothing about the trilogy or that trilogy really holds up very well for me.
Fair enough.
I know people love it, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, but I am. This is exciting. Like, I'm excited by this proposition. The idea of we get to see Darkseid Rey, whether it's a Force vision or something we have no idea what it is. It's weird. I'm a little shocked that's the kind of thing they put in a teaser. but at the same time, I guess it makes sense to generate all this discussion about it because it's clearly like lit the internet on fire.
Oh yeah, people are nuts for it.
The saber, I go back and forth between whether or not I like the saber though. I think it looked like that saber looked fantastic in animation on Rebels. But it is super goofy too. And maybe I like the goofiness of it as well. I don't know how I feel about that one.
It's funny because
not being too overly critical because I'm going to enjoy it when I watch it. Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
I mean, we're their opening day for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The trailer and everything in it, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm at a point now with Star Wars where I don't trust the trailers enough.
Yeah.
To really pay attention to them.
Sure.
Because we've had so many trailers where like they're so good at putting things out of the order and matching the voiceover with scenes that don't have anything to do with that, or showing us scenes that aren't even in the damn movie.
Yeah, that's that is very true.
That I just
would be the worst if that is not in the movie. Can you imagine the outcry? I know how everyone felt about the TIE Fighter in Rogue One. Like that has notoriously become like the example, like for all movie trailers now.
Yeah,
of what not to do.
This. Yeah, that I just don't. I don't really pay. Like there wasn't any. We have no idea what the story is.
Yeah,
we have most of that trailer, most of that footage of the 2 minutes
was other movies.
3/4 of it was the other trilogies,
right?
So we didn't really. I mean, you get a couple shots, and to me, it's not even worth speculating.
Yeah,
over.
That's fair.
Is she a clone? Is she? Is it? Force vision.
Yeah. Is she possessed by Palpatine? Yeah. All sorts of other theories. Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, you have no context.
That's true.
To put that in, so you're really making crap up now.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Yeah. I think it's probably Kylo's temptation.
Oh, you don't think it's Clone Rey like Luke? Like from the Thrawn trilogy?
No, I definitely don't think
okay,
that.
Good.
Yeah. I don't think that's coming back.
Yeah.
I think when they made the list of like reasons to keep the extended universes and reasons to get rid of it.
Clones wasn't on one of those.
Yeah, Clones was on the absolute like get rid of pile
right.
every time. Get rid of that garbage.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, it's curious to see how Palpatine comes back.
A part of me is a little bit scared that the story for Rey's origin, like, because there's also all this talk of like, oh, and like we're gonna give a definitive answer about Rey's parentage type of thing, and like I just want them to stick with what Rian Johnson did. I'm sure I'll be fine with what they decide to do if they decide to change it, but I would, in the same way that originally I always was disappointed that Vader and Luke were related. Because it always hurt the idea of Luke being an ordinary farm boy taken out of obscurity and added this like, oh, well, now he's someone special because he's related to this person type of thing. I always didn't like that. So it was nice to see Rey is this someone picked out of obscurity idea.
Bullshit. You don't like that story because it rubs against you and I's daddy issues.
No, I've... probably. Absolutely. I'm sure that's part of it too, man. He just wanted cigarettes, and now he had asthma, and then he was yelling at me while I was hanging over the side of this big reactor shaft.
Promising me the best Christmas ever. He's going to give me the universe.
And we were going to kill the Emperor together.
And then he went up and really did die.
After he looked at me with his own eyes.
And I left him for dead on a battle station.
But not before I took his armor, because clearly it was time for. Well, he pulled his body.
Pulled the body out.
He did pull. We see him pull the body.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. So.
He didn't put it in the ship. He just drug it behind.
Right.
Well,
he just hooked up
like a tow hitch. Just drug it back to Endor.
Right. He's just like his body's just flailing in space. Like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. That'd be the best.
So what were we talking about?
I don't even know.
Rey's parentage.
Oh,
But part of
sure.
me is really scared that Rey is going to be like a clone of Palpatine.
Right.
Because here the only reason why like I am legitimately afraid of that idea is that in the extended universe, in the current extended universe right now, we know that Palpatine had a research outpost on Jakku. There was something that the Empire was trying to destroy there in the final battle of the war between the Empire and the Rebellion. And like there was something like it was supposedly like it's an outpost that was like pointed towards whatever was going on in deep space that Palpatine was interested in. So like it like I could see it totally being like
Maybe she's the love child of Palpatine and Snoke.
That's something else I saw too. That is so many wrinkles.
Oh yeah, it is. That's. I mean, you just got to guess which one it is. Hope for the best.
It's like senior porn.
Oh man,
Do it.
my young apprentice.
Oh wow, this has gotten to some really dark side stuff.
I'd watch that.
No, you wouldn't.
I totally would.
What's wrong with
I totally would.
I mean, if it's on Disney Plus, maybe I would. You know what?
I'd watch that on Pornhub today, and I'd upvote it.
Oh gosh, there's something wrong with you, man.
So many things. Star Wars. I can't help myself.
That's fair. You know, we're gonna take a break for a moment, and we're gonna be back with Pat Edwards.
All right, let's talk Disney.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
The space is almost here.
All right. So now we're joined by Pat Edwards, author and podcaster Pat Edwards.
And just generally good guy.
Right?
You're a pal.
And super Disney fan.
Stop it. All of those things are so true. Yeah, no, I am still. It's quite a few days out, a couple days out at this point, but I'm still pretty giddy because we talked about it, listener, and I mentioned it last time we were talking. And I always kind of try to pride myself on if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I follow through, and I've gotten myself into some real jams in the podcast world doing that. Like one of the more recent ones was with our mutual friend Case. I made a joke that we did our live show. I was a guest on his Another Pass at GeeklyCon earlier this year, and we did Legend, the Tom Cruise, Tim Curry is the Devil movie for Another Pass, and I made a joke that I was going to watch it 6 times to prepare, because he's the Devil, 666, and then I felt obligated, so I ended up watching the movie 6 times within a month, and it was...
you know what? I appreciate your integrity.
Yeah. So I said I was gonna be going, which I did. That's a given. We're a member of the Disney tribe in this family. We go quite a bit. We go down there minimum once a year. Minimum.
Love
Lately,
that.
it's been more than that.
What's the point of having kids if you can't go to Disney?
Yeah, but I can't even use them as an excuse. My wife has been going. Her and her family are mega Disney, specifically like Disney World. They've gone almost her whole life every year. They're like the vacation club. They kind of indoctrinated me into it, and the way they sold me was during the fall at Epcot. They have this big food and wine festival with all you do is basically like eat and drink all day. Drink beer and wine and cocktails and just eat a bunch of foods from around the world. And you literally can eat and drink around the world. And so that sold me, this is what we do. This is what we do all day. We just day drink and eat. And then later on go indulge our inner children on Splash Mountain and Soarin' and all those and Tower of Terror. And yeah. So I said, okay, I can get on board with this.
For sure.
So more than a decade later, I'm fully in now. But this time I was especially excited, of course. Or maybe you don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard. They just have this.
I think there's a new Star Wars
Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, Galaxies. So I think it's based on the old ColecoVision game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's called like the White Tower Station or something they're calling it.
Yeah.
No, but of course, as we all know, they recently opened the Galaxy's Edge Black Spire outpost on the planet Batu, which, I mean, that area has more names than anything. But it's... I don't even know.
They don't, the great thing about Batu is they don't ask you like which hemisphere you're from. They just ask you which cheek you're at.
Dang it, Ben. Yeah, it was amazing, and I'll walk you guys through it. Well, so
it was better than that joke.
So the lead up, well, because I'll get right into it because I know this is we're doing this. You've got a whole episode you're doing here, and I don't want to take up too much of your time because I could rant and rave forever. But I was looking ahead to this, and I really wanted to experience it in its all its glory. And I adore my children and love them to death. If anyone listening has been to Disney World with kids, it's a very different experience than there with not kids. The priority is them, obviously, as it should be, but that's what you're really there for.
I mean,
that's the responsible thing to say as a parent.
Yeah,
that's what the police told me.
Yeah. But so that being said, my kids are very young. They're toddlers. They're both toddlers, so they require nonstop attention. When you're with them, and they don't have patience is a foreign concept to them. So I knew, and then with the crowds, basically I worked it out with my wife where it's like, I need to pick a day where I can, and I'm willing to do this. I'll sacrifice sleep for this, and I'm going to get up super early, and I'm going to go by myself and get there before the park opens and be one of those people waiting, sniffing around the gates, waiting for them to open it. And then I'm going to just try to do all of it. I'm going to literally just walk through like bit by bit and experience every little thing I can. And I wasn't leaving her high and dry on her own. We had some extended family with us to help her with the kids in the morning. But the other really cool thing is,
I would have just left it
we try.
I love how he said that. And I'm like, yeah, why?
I feel like Child Services has mandated this through court order.
It never occurred to me that you would do that. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
So they were doing, they're called extra magic hours, where then almost every day one of the parks is open a couple hours early or a couple hours later than normal, but only for people who are staying on Disney property. Like if you're staying in a Disney hotel. So Hollywood Studios, which is the park that has Galaxy's Edge, was opening on last Tuesday at this last Tuesday means absolutely nothing to your listener. But the Tuesday that I chose to go at 6 a.m. was open time. They're opening the park. So I got up and I decided I was going to get there at 5 a.m. And I said, this is either going to, as I was leaving my hotel room at like 4:44 in the morning or something like that, I was thinking to myself, I'm either going to be the lone asshole standing out there for an hour just with like a security guard looking at me like, go home, dude.
You just
or it's going to be like 50 people deep already. Like, I feel like it's going to be... So I got there at 5:05, and there were about 24 people already there.
Oh, wow. That's what I was wondering, like, how many of you...
Yeah.
I've never lined up to get into an amusement park.
Well, you also can't be the worst person in Florida anyway, so you're fine.
Yeah, that's not even you're not even in contention.
No, there are clearly going to be people ahead of you.
No, but I was people. Well, most of the people there were really nice and chill, and I was kind of shooting the shit with some of them and like cracking jokes. And like the first people I walked up next to, I was like, "Oh, something going on." Just and they didn't know I was joking. They're like,
dad joke.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna give you guys kind of a play-by-play, especially the opening, because I was just like tired, but also that weird where you're like really tired physically, but mentally super hyped, and you're just kind of in this weird. Yeah. And it's 5 a.m. It's dark. It's very, very dark. It's pitch black. It's just very trippy. You know what I mean? It's just very kind of trippy, and just kind of you're in what it's just. Completely sober.
It's a little surreal.
Yeah, completely sober, but you feel like you're on drugs because there's like all these, like, you're tired, but you're excited. It's dark. Things are weird. Disney World is not a normal place, like all the stuff.
Right.
But so they actually opened up the gates at 5:18 and walked us all through security. And then I thought, we're getting in early. No, what they did is they herded us down like all these parks have like a Main Street type area, that kind of your funnel.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised how many park employees there were there. There were dozens and dozens, and they basically made like human walls and kind of penned us in, and kind of funneled us down the Main Street, and then stopped us at a point. And there were like a line of them across. There's like a line of them across, and like lines up the side, and basically like we're gonna wait here, and then at 6, and then a bunch of people. So by the time the park was officially open at 6, there was probably over 100, maybe 150 people. I was at the front chunk of like the crowd. I was in like the second row of the crowd, and the guy had a loudspeaker, and basically what he said is, "Here's what we're doing. When it's time, we are all going to walk in a calm, orderly fashion. We are going to lead you back there. You do not, these like box of Disney employees are your guardrails. You cannot go wider than that outside of them. You cannot go in front of them. You'll be asked to leave." And I thought it was actually pretty smart because that avoided like the inevitable would have been the stampede of people just forgetting all human decency. And there was still
would have been Walmart at Christmas time.
Yes, which I was concerned about. I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like, which I thought was really smart.
There
of
was
them.
only like a couple dozen people there. How bad could it be?
But by the time they actually like said we're going to take you guys back, there was well over 100.
Oh, okay.
Easily. So they and there were still people. I was like, I didn't want to kill my own vibe. But there were still people I saw trying to like squeeze up and like jockey their way. I'm like, come on, dude! Like, seriously,
you're already one of the first people in the park.
Yeah,
like chill.
But what was really awesome, and if anyone is listening and they want, I tweeted a bunch of this. So if you go to my Twitter at the Pat Edwards and you kind of scroll back a little bit, I can even give you the date I was there, or we can retweet it or something like that.
Well, I'll link the first tweet in it.
And so there's a bunch of tweets I put up of pictures and videos and stuff, and I have even more, and I can go back and see what I already posted and maybe do like a repost of them. But it was really cool because there was loudspeakers. All of a sudden, the Imperial March starts playing, and 4 First Order Stormtroopers come out of nowhere, march in front of the crowd, turn around, and that's who leads us back at 6 a.m. It's pitch black, and we're being led through the park to the Galaxy's Edge by 4 stormtroopers while the Imperial March is playing. And all on the way, there's different Disney park employees like waving, saying hi. There was a couple of them in a particularly dark area holding lightsabers up in like a tunnel, where the like saber, like Marines would do with their sabers that you walk through.
Wow. That's so cool.
And
how erect were you?
I was just
I'm rock hard just listening.
It was like, literally in my head, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I could put a nail in a 2x4 right now.
So I tried to get pictures and video, and I got some of them, put them up there, but I was also trying to like walk the line of being like, I also want to enjoy this for me as well. I want to document this, but I want to enjoy this for myself and experience it. But it was really cool as they walk you through the park. What I noticed, I was paying attention, is the width was getting the width of the crowd was getting gradually smaller, very subtly. So it was like they were funneling us down because they knew we were all going to do first was the Millennium Falcon ride, right?
Right.
They knew that's what everyone's going to try and do first because of the wait time, get ahead of the wait times and everything. So they figured. So they're like, we're just going to all walk you there, and your wait time. Even the people at the back are not going to wait more than 10, 15 minutes. So let's all just relax. And people still were being dicks about it, but it was so cool. So they walk us, and then you get to they did an amazing job of secluding the Galaxy's Edge from the rest of the park, where when you pass through and there's 2 ways in, you do not see anything else of the park. You don't see any other rides or like the tops of any. You can't even see like the Tower of Terror, which is pretty tall from in there.
Yeah,
they do this. They did it. They have all these fake mountains, and the way it's all laid out perfectly is standing on ground level, and you cannot see out of like this makeshift canyon they've made for you. And
that's cool.
it's very immersive. All the employees are in full garb, Star Wars garb. And even when they let us and we hit that tunnel, there was a line of park employees that were Star Wars garbed, in like the Batu clothing that took over and then led us the rest of the way in. They had an actress in full Rey costume on a platform next to an X-Wing and a Chewbacca waving to us as we all came in. Yeah. It was amazing. And then they just walked you through kind of the whole thing in like a little tour. And it's one of those things where if you're down there and you go, and you feel like I did that. If you went during the day, you got to go back at night. If you went at night, you got to go back during the day because they're two different animals. And if you only can do one, I would almost choose dark, like nighttime or super, super early morning, which is still night for me. It looks gorgeous. The light and everything is amazing. There were stormtroopers walking on like catwalks and balconies of the buildings and like yelling stuff down at us about like behaving and things like that.
Oh, cool.
All the people, like the lingo they use is it is very immersive. Like, they don't say dollars, they say credits. If you're asking, want to buy something at one of the market stores, it's very, and they're using like lingo, like slang for like Star Wars slang for hello and goodbye and how are you and
cool.
So they walk you back to the ride. The ride is phenomenal. I actually got to do it. I ended up doing it like 3 times throughout the trip too, where you actually got to. And that's I'd say if there's anything I did and you want to really geek out is you go and you see the videos and the pictures I took where you're literally standing in like the lounge of the Millennium Falcon, like at like the 3D chess table. Got to sit there. And
what does it smell like?
Honestly, it's new. Like, smells like, because it's like new metal and plastic.
Nobody's
and
peed in it yet.
Yeah.
So it's not really Han's Millennium
No,
Falcon.
yeah. But
It's more Lando's.
I mean, it's pretty darn cool. You walk up and they've built like a life-size Millennium Falcon. Like, that's how big it would be. And you're looking up at it and like, holy shit. And then you go in and you walk through, the whole waiting area. And I basically walk down. You go into the waiting room. I almost wish I'd had to wait longer, so I could have hung out in the waiting room area more.
Right.
And it kind of explored the nooks and crannies. But then you go in and they take you, and the ride is you walk into a cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and you're looking out that classic grid, like the window pane grid of the windshield, and then you're like a pilot or a gunner or an engineer, and you go on the ride, and you're moving, your stuff's coming at you, you're doing a mission, and it changes based on how well you do. Like, your performance actually matters. Like, as the pilot or the gunner. Because I had ones that were ended sooner because the people we sucked. We had ones where we just... and, like...
so heartbreaking.
You're, like, hijacking coaxium, and how many you steal, like, changes. 1 canister, 2 canisters, 3 at the end. And it depends on how well you do. There's definitely like a floor they put in there, right? So you still get something out of it. But I did it. So I did it 3 times, and I had different results, noticeably different results each time. As far as there was one that was a little bit longer and a couple more opportunities to like steal more coaxium because you're doing a really good job. Shooting TIE fighters out of the sky or flying the ship or shooting harpoons on a coaxium containers. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. It's
I know what I'm dreaming
great.
about tonight.
So I get off there, and then right away the next thing I do is I go find Oga's Cantina, because I know that's going to fill up quick too. And had myself a pair of Bloody Rancors at 6:45 in the morning. Which was which is great. That's a cool bar. They got DJ R3K. It's a droid DJ playing, spinning tunes and tracks. Right. I think I have video or pictures of that up on Twitter. And then just walk through. They've got a marketplace where you can, they've got a sit-down restaurant. They got little market stands. I had a Ronto wrap, which is kind of like a sausage and like a spicy slaw and like a wrap and everything. It's really good. That's the other thing is when I came back another time with my family, and my older daughter and I built a BB-8 droid, a BB series droid.
So
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I actually have to still take a video of myself playing around with it. So I got one of those little working remote control BB-8s.
How long did it take to put it together?
So fast. Mine took longer because she's 3.5. So with the nice woman working there, I was like, "Hey, all right, do you have a minute? Can you just like do this with her, and I can like take pictures of it and record it because she loves that, like the droids and everything. So I did that, and she picked everything. She picked. Little concerned for her because she seems to always gravitate to red and black stuff. So he's got like a red body and a black head. And when we made one of the a trip we went on like a year ago, she made one of like those like $20 lightsabers, you know, like the telescoping ones. We haven't done them. And she basically she picked out every piece of it, and then at the end of the day, I think you guys might have seen this. I tweeted about it. She basically built Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Yep.
And I was like, and then with the droid, it was black, all red and black. I'm like, you trying to tell me something, sweetie? Like, you got some dark? It's okay. We can talk about it. Like,
stay off the cat.
Yeah,
if she wants to talk to you in the middle of a catwalk, avoid that conversation.
Beat me to it.
No, so that was a lot of fun. And then it's gorgeous, and you can see where they already have like the building blocks in for the second ride when they come out with that a few months from now. And you can tell they left themselves. It looks full, but they left themselves room to grow too, to add more features and more stores and things in there, which they're going to because it's obviously been incredibly successful, and it was awesome. You could just hang out, walk around. Oh, drink some blue milk. Definitely did that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't even like milk, but I drink blue milk.
It's not. I mean, do you want me to tell you like what it is or what it really is? Or
yeah. Sure.
It's basically like a slushy though. It's more like a fruit flavored slushy. There's no dairy in it, and you can get it with rum though.
I'm in. That's better. All right, yeah. No,
you're like I was in, I was out, I'm back in again.
Wait, so do they have the green milk too?
They do have the green. Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's like a kind of a fruity flavored, but it is milky. I think it's like an almond milk base or something like that. They just say there's no dairy in it, and you can get. But my kids like the blue one. We get that and like split it because it's like a slushy for them.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But I didn't bite the bullet because I was like, what am I really gonna do with it? But I saw so many people walking around with these very sleek, black, long canvas slings cases, very long. I'm like, it's like, and I did grab one guy. I was like, all right, man, let me ask. So they have Savvy's scrap heap
workshop.
Yeah, workshop where you build the. So I'll tell you guys, the custom. So a remote control droid that actually moves around. You can do an R2 unit or BB-8. It's $100, 100 credits.
Okay.
The lightsabers are double.
Is it like Chuck E. Cheese where you have to put your money in and you just get a bunch of coins?
Actually, I'd be down for that if they made you.
That would
like,
be pretty cool.
exchange.
The actual credits.
Yes. Yeah. The lightsabers are $200, and part of me is like, what? They better cut something actually for $200. But I did grab one guy.
That's lower than what I spent on yours.
Yeah.
Crap.
But I was like, is it worth $200? And he just looks at me and goes, oh, yeah.
Yes.
He goes, oh, yeah. Like, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious what makes it worth, like, what, is it just a sword that lights, like a plastic sword that lights up? What makes it $200? Is there a cool experience?
Have you played around with any of the, like, the premium lightsabers ever?
I really haven't, no. Have you?
So you can actually get, so I got Kylo Ren's saber for $125.
Okay.
And it is fantastic.
Okay.
I ended up giving it to a friend later on, but like you can get the Force FX sabers. They're not cheap, but they're not $200.
Yeah.
But I got Ben like a $400 lightsaber actually, where the handle even detaches, but like you can change. I don't remember.
So
can you change the color of the saber?
Is it like? Is it motion sensitive, like the noises when you move it? Okay,
yes.
So that would be cool. Where it's like the act of moving it makes like the like the hum and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
and like the light extends through the tube, so it's not. Yeah.
So the tube is solid all the way, but the light doesn't appear throughout the whole thing at the same time. It grows up through it. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right when it turns off, it like it goes back down.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty nice, and like apparently you can even get ones that are durable enough for you to like actually spar with.
Oh, the other thing too is I got accosted by stormtroopers. There's a video of it.
Perfect.
I was like filming, and I got in trouble for filming with my data pad, and I got double waist duty.
Oh, the double waist duty. I love it.
Love it.
So
question.
Yeah.
Did you use the app at all?
The Disney app?
There?
My Disney?
Yeah.
The
The whole story thing. Like where you get to
Star Wars.
choose to be a smuggler or resistance or Imperial.
You know, it's funny. I wanted to, and I completely forgot to. I feel terrible about that. I feel terrible.
Well, that's something to do next time.
I know.
Yeah,
I
now you
feel.
have to go back.
Oh, we will. And I feel.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I was like, oh, I knew I forgot something after I left there. I was like, I tried to do everything and wanted to, walk through it all,
Sure.
and I was like, oh, I knew I forgot something. Because again,
How great is that though? That like you didn't even miss it.
yeah, I mean,
Right?
it was
Just
amazing.
how
I
well
just,
it's done.
yeah. And honestly, I really liked, I would highly recommend anyone goes, try to do that super early morning. It's not the most convenient, and I know we all like our sleep, but there was something just really extra, like, immersive about that. So I went back, of course, with my family, like, during the day and walked through, and the ride was only, we were there in the evening towards the end of the night one night, and the standby, like, the walk-on, non-fast pass wait time for the Millennium Falcon was 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
It was like
That's
it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday in the evening, right? So it was during. So if this was the week of Hurricane Dorian, which didn't really touch Orlando, so I got to do it again. But it's so worth going in general, but especially those like that early morning or that time when it was not that many people. It felt very. Like, yeah, I'm here. This is weird. And all the people they talk to you just walking around like you're just a regular citizen, like passing through on your way to Bestman or something. They were just stuff like that. Very, you can tell. And then my wife was, she's not a huge Star Wars fan, but she's a big Disney fan. And she was looking into it and saying the people that are working there went through like crazy training that was like 4 times as long and intense as like normal Disney parks employee training.
Oh wow!
To be like, you are a citizen of this like outpost. Like this is as much an acting job as it is like it's just a theme park service job.
That's
for them.
so cool.
Yeah.
So cooler. It's also kind of sad that Star Wars fans are that vicious.
Yes, Star Wars fans are that vicious. I can't disagree with that clearly.
Well, you know what it is? They need to distract you from the prices, because Disney is not cheap in general. Now they do great quality, and you're getting to Galaxy's Edge in particular, like drinks and food and merchandise is especially, even for Disney,
pricey.
not cheap. So they're just trying to distract you from like.
It's the immersiveness of it all.
Yeah, so immersive that you're not paying attention to like those cocktails were like $17 a piece or something like.
So if they franchised Oga's Cantina, you wouldn't just casually hang out there for those prices.
No, or I'd stick to the beer, and I wouldn't be doing the fancy cocktails. But
Well, thank you, Pat. Thank you so much for. Or do you have more?
no, I mean I could talk. Yeah, I could keep talking, but that was like the real crux of what I wanted to get at. If you're at all curious to see, you can go to @thePatEdwards on Twitter, and I can tweet more at you guys. I'll go through and I'll double check what I posted, because I was doing a lot of it like in the moment. And I'll see if there's anything good I still have on my phone that I didn't put up there yet. But highly recommend it. It was so much fun. Love talking Star Wars. Thank you guys. And yeah, if the sound of my voice doesn't fill you with anger and loathing, you can check me out on the Let's Rewatch podcast. I also do. I'm having in the middle of a hiatus right now. I'm with my character because I'm finishing up some. Writing business stuff, but I was a regular for the first 24 episodes of a show called For Whom the Dice Roll. It's a D&D. So it's Scruffy Nerf Herders, but classic D&D. And then, of course, if I could do my normal plugs, just kind of refresh people on what's going on. My first book, Space Tripping, is out in stores as ebook, paperback, and also on Audible. Space Tripping is an Audible exclusive if you like the audio. I've got a short story in an anthology called Escape. I have another short story coming out before the end of the year in an anthology called Deception. And the Space Tripping sequel is written and in production for 2020.
Nice. I didn't realize you're on sequel. You're ready for a sequel. That's awesome.
Done. Yeah, it is written, and it is currently in the editing, chop it up and tell me what a terrible writer I am process. Fix it.
Well, be sure to check all of that out. We'll have links to that on our website, certainpov.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Pat.
Thank you guys for having me.
So now we're going to go into A New Hope. We recently started our project of rewatching all the Star Wars movies, going into Rise of Skywalker, going into Episode 9, the end of the Skywalker saga, and it was really a lot of fun rewatching Episode 4 or watching the original, Star Wars, A New Hope, whatever you want to call it, whatever makes the most sense to you. It really was like the funniest rewatch I feel we had ever.
I laughed so hard in that movie. It's
like
so
right from
silly.
the beginning too.
Well, and a lot of that is because, we do hold the movie in way too high esteem.
Yeah.
And then you have all these years of all the great Family Guy gags,
Yeah.
and
Robot Chicken,
and Simpsons, everybody taking shots of this over the years.
Yeah.
And
us just making jokes in general, all of us as friends, doing that.
And it all just played right into the movie. It was just seamlessly working jokes in and out of the movie. And the movie itself is just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you watch it from a critical standpoint, like for a little bit we were watching it all right, let's judge it by how the Last Jedi haters judged it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it doesn't hold up.
No, you can't get past 3 minutes of that movie before this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
When you realize, in the greater scope of the series, that if you have a problem with the movie that's in its first 5 minutes starts off with this villain dressed all in black is chasing his daughter that he doesn't know is his daughter with the stolen Death Star plans that he lost. He's chasing her down and happens to chase her over the planet that he was born on and from, but for whatever reason doesn't go back to.
He doesn't like sand.
That makes sense, actually. That still holds up.
That's the one part where you're okay, that's the cornerstone that holds this thing all together.
Because it still gets everywhere.
And its course.
Right. On that ship happens to be 2 of his droids, one that he built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those droids get those plans, take it down to the planet.
Also, neither of those droids seem to recognize him for no particular reason.
Right. They never saw him dressed up as Vader, though. They didn't make the Anakin Vader connection ever, though. Right?
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I don't know.
Do droids, can they scan and figure out, oh my God, that's Anakin?
You would guess not, because the secrets would be impossible to keep.
Right, yeah, that's true. That doesn't work for it plot-wise.
Anyway.
On that planet, they just happen to run into that guy's son,
who he doesn't know he has,
right? And then they're led to that guy's mentor
and best friend,
right? So
in the first 3 minutes, that movie makes no damn sense. It's so ridiculous and so silly, and the acting is so bad.
Yeah,
and the lines are so cheesy. Here's what I realized: this was maybe the first time that I've watched this movie, and I've lost track of how many times I've seen this movie now.
Yeah,
I think this is the first time I watched a movie, and I watched this movie, and I went, "Oh, that's why George didn't think this was going to be anything."
It's an achievement of a movie. That we're not crapping on that by any means. And there's a lot that's entertaining.
But you can look at it and go, "Oh, people are going to think this is dumb as shit,"
right?
If you watch that movie in a real true frame of mind, you can kind of go, "I can't believe anybody saw this. This is insane."
What I wonder is, so how it's really popular to talk about Pacific Rim as this is this is the best dumb movie ever. Is the sort of the title I've seen given to the movie. I feel the original Star Wars movie is that.
Yeah, it's got to be top 3 best dumb movies ever.
Right? I'm glad I'm not alone there.
No, I maybe would, a couple of years ago, I probably would have argued with you to the death on that.
Yeah.
But after that watch of it, I was just this is so silly. This is so silly. The stormtrooper banging his head.
Oh, I love it every single time.
Makes me cry now. So bad. And Han chasing the stormtroopers down the hall screaming at him.
Right?
So stupid. They can't hit shit ever. It's so
Well, even the ones that are shooting at Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
like before they swing across.
yeah,
You
horrible
know?
shots. Horrible
Also,
shots.
how do you, like, on a panel, and granted, I don't know the engineering of how
Oh, it's so
the doors work on the Death Star, but, like, how does it partially open
Yes.
and not just go all the way?
And why
don't they shoot at their feet?
And why does blowing up a panel keep a door from opening?
Right?
Like it's a completely separate mechanism. What the hell? Because the side you're shooting, the guys on the other side
Still have a
has
mechanism.
a panel. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh my god, that's the first time I realized that.
Yeah, there's things like that.
Yeah.
That, like if you like really critique that movie hardcore, but it's utter garbage.
But I think that's the thing about film logic and film criticism
Yes.
right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's at this weird place where, like, why are you criticizing these kind of things? And, like, I think it's super apparent when you talk about the Endgame critics, like when they start getting into the criticism of time travel and the rules. Like, my God, like this isn't isn't about, like, we understand there's certain leaps in logic you have to make in movies and with storytelling. Enjoy it.
Well, I think that's
Instead
where
of-
we are as
yeah.
a society, and it's not just movies; it's everywhere. Literalism and like exactism and scientificism, like it's a religion for so many people now. Where,
Right.
like they have to be right. They have to have all the details correct.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a byproduct of our school system
Yeah.
that, like, you know, we reward people for not getting anything wrong and learning anything.
Yeah, and even for, like, the way people approach religion. Like,
Yes.
people approach religion as, like everything has an answer, as opposed to
And just literal. And,
right.
Yeah.
Everything is factual.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, so that way there's no room for any kind of interpretation.
right.
You know, it's what it says, therefore it's what I say it is.
Well, it takes away the burden. People crave that, I think, because it takes away the burden of being able to having to think and figure out something.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, such an important thing. And what I think I've come to. That's why I appreciate The Last Jedi as much as I do, and even Star Wars in general. And I've come to appreciate Lucas more, despite his flaws as a storyteller and some of the mistakes he made with the prequels, and even with the originals too, for that matter. But the idea of, like, we have to sort of, like, mysticism is about embracing the unknown and the questions rather than, you know, trying to figure out there's an answer for everything. I had a really interesting conversation with someone about that, and about the idea of, like, the yin and yang and balance, and that, you know, like, it's a very, like, I'm definitely not someone who talks a lot about, like, destroying the patriarchy or anything like that, but there is, like, the yin and yang are, like, masculine and feminine energies, and together they form a complete. But in a sense, like, society as a whole is so masculine that we need to dominate and know the answers to everything, that we forget we also need to balance that out with, like, while those traits are
Feminine
important.
qualities,
Yeah, exactly. Those masculine traits are still important for sure.
They have their place, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to still get things done.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're trying to earn, you know, make sure to feed your family and make money and make sure there's shelter. Like, that's kind of important.
Right.
But then there's also other things that need that more, the softer hand, the idea of the openness to explore and learn. You know, those two things need to be married together. You know, so it's so funny that, you know, we're just not okay with that. People are just not okay with those leaps in plot logic. You know.
Yeah, they can't handle it right now. Everybody is so detail oriented. They can't. It's weird. It's no wonder poetry isn't doing particularly well,
Right.
in our society right now, because everybody wants a textbook. Everybody wants to have the answer. Everybody wants it black and white. This is what it is. Yes, no.
The 3-point action step plan
Right.
to solve my life.
Right. There's no room now for, okay, like, let's just talk about the meaning. Let's talk about the nuance. Let's talk about the space in between the words.
Right.
Not just the words.
Yeah.
And there's no room for that in our society right now. You know, we've just swung too far on that pendulum. And we'll swing back the other way, and
Yeah.
we'll eventually have our next phase of hippies. where nothing matters and everything
Right.
is just completely goofy shit too.
Exactly.
But for right now, that's not where we're at, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like The Last Jedi, is because it requires you to think that way. It requires you to be non-dualistic.
Yeah, and well, it requires you to engage with the story and the themes, and really examine yourself as well and your thoughts about something and your preconceptions. And that's hard if you just want pure escapism. It's still escapism, but it
requires more from you.
Exactly.
It requires something from you.
Right. Yeah, even if it doesn't require a lot, it requires at least a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Man, so, yeah. Anything else you noticed in this rewatch?
Other than just how funny it is. Like there's literal humor.
Yeah.
And
3PO right off the top.
Intentional humor.
Yeah.
Like, there's some great one-liners. There's some awful one-liners, too.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't notice this time? I think, like, the first time in a long time since I've watched it, the most recent watches that I've had, I've always, like, really noticed the cinematography and the special effects. I didn't notice the special effects this time.
I didn't bother with it. I just kind of, enjoyed it.
I was so into the story and laughing and just the escapism of it.
Yeah.
And just having a good time that I wasn't tearing the part of the movie. And it was such a great watch.
Yeah.
It was such a fun watch. I loved it. I loved it. As bad as it is, I loved it.
Right. That's our thoughts on A New Hope. Hopefully soon we'll get a chance to do our Empire rewatch, and then we'll talk about that a little bit too, along with any other Star Wars news that's come out.
I hope we swing the exact opposite on that and just cry the entire time.
and then Luke, he just jumped, man.
and when he jumped, I felt like I jumped. Because I wanted to tell my dad, no!
On that note, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast for whatever. Well, Serial Killers is coming around. Well, we'll just change it this feed, whatever.
All right.
Yeah. So, rate, review, subscribe. Well, and you know what? Rate, review, subscribe to some other podcasts that are part of our network. You can check those out on our website, certainpov.com. But be sure to also check out Discord. We've got our own little community there where we're hanging out, talking, and chatting it up. You can join that. The conversation there.
If you ever wanted to make fun of J. Mike yourself, that's where you can do it.
Oh, it is one of the best places to do it, too.
People love it.
You
it's
can
like
tag
a sport.
him directly, yeah.
It's like a sport on there
so much fun. Like, if you have any, Jacksonville Jaguars jokes that you've recently come up with, you can throw them there.
I heard
appreciates that.
I heard the best Jags joke.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, this year's Jacksonville Jaguars.
Not Nick Foles' clavicle?
Nope. Nope.
On that
Nick
note,
Foles
and now
is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, sir.
You know that he is.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah.
He's still better than Peyton Manning.
Anyway, we just somehow became a football podcast. So before we keep on doing that, certainpov.com, and stay scruffy, my nerf herders.
We're nerf haters.
It's been a while, man.
It's been a while. It's whatever.